You can start it and just carry on, bro.
Yeah, bro. I realize sometimes I would like cheat gym day in the evening, the youngest, bro. So yeah, you just wanna hit a young greet in there. Hey, what's good, guys? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to another modern day trader live. Hey, my boy Sam,
Yeah,
what's going
what's
on,
up,
bro?
everyone? What's going on, my G? What's up, everyone? Welcome to another live. No technical issues this time, so hope it's smooth sailing. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, what's going on, my bro? We were just catching up a bit from the week.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Hey,
that's something you were just saying. Obviously, waking up early or like quite early. Sometimes you cheat your sessions in the evening. But didn't you say you're training in the morning
in
now?
the morning now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, cause now in the morning, obviously, when I wake up, I have more energy, so naturally I can go harder. You know what I mean? Like that's the first thing I'm
Mm,
doing in the morning, other than like the first physical thing that I'm doing. So like now that I'm doing this, I realize like how tired I am in the evening, and it's not based on the fact that I'm doing my workouts in the morning. It's based on the fact that I'm just tired in the evening. So
mm,
like looking back on like the difference in my workouts in the morning compared to the evening is definitely different, bro. Like it's mad different. I feel like I just have
mm.
more energy to give, like the workout, you know what I mean? Whereas in the evening, I get there, I'm already tired, been up like for time already, you know what I mean? Now I'm just there
Yeah.
trying to push as hard as I can, lifting fucking hella dumbbells here, trying to push limits. And then, hey, now my arms are shaking. The minute my arms start shaking, I'm like, bro, let me put this dumbbell down, bro. Why am I lifting 44s now, bro? What's going on here, bro? Like, what am I doing this for? You know what I mean? Whereas in the
And
morning, it's like,
you don't
hey,
use
bro, what
any
it?
pre-workout in the afternoon
Nah,
because I find
nah.
depending on what I'm training, but if it's one of the core days, either quads or chest, then I must have a pre-workout if I'm training in the afternoon. Otherwise,
Oh,
it's a
nah,
waste of this.
I eat pre workout every day, bro. But it's a non caffeinated pre workout though. Non caffeinated pre workout. But I eat pre workout every day, regardless. Afternoon, morning, every day, my boy.
Oh, morning even. Oh, you attack the
Yeah,
system first
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but it's a non-caffeinated, it's like a stim-free pre-workout though. I don't use caffeine because I drink so much caffeine throughout the day that yeah, I try not to add caffeine to my pre-workout.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I find first thing in the morning, I might have occasionally just like a black coffee, but I don't know. I just don't have a reason
Yeah, you
to,
don't need it, bro.
to work out or anything because I'm fresh. This is me at
Exactly.
100%. So
Exactly. I think the only thing that I take it for is the fact that it's like a pump pre-workout, you know what I mean? So it like adds
yeah,
to the pump, bro. Like I love it when I'm doing like chest and triceps and I took that thing. Hey, my boy, the pump is just mad, bro.
going
Pump is
off.
mad. Yeah.
That
But hey,
is.
how's the week
But
so far, eh? Like in terms of trading.
yeah, I mean, I was saying I haven't taken any trades this week. Market's been relatively sideways, and I'm going to go through it in a bit. But yeah, nothing for me yet. I think you've taken two,
Yeah, I actually
if
took
I'm not
another trade
mistaken.
today. I haven't recorded the trades in my journal yet. I've actually gotten into a new routine where I record my trades in my journal on a Friday, right before I
Yeah,
do the review. So I recorded on a day to day in Notion. I didn't record today's trade, but I'll walk through it when I do my analysis. But a quick wrap up. I think I'm on -1, and it speaks to the market conditions. It's been very choppy, and I just realized this. So like, there's no need to like force anything. I started the week
mm,
off really good with like I think a break even and a win, and then I took another I took a loss and a break even, which got very close to a 2%, and then today I took a loss again. So I'm at like -1% for the week, but for the month I'm sitting decently, so it's not really like that major, bro.
yeah. Now let me
Quite a
just
busy
jump on
week
and
actually. Yeah, you can jump on,
show
bro.
you what I'm seeing. Uh, so basically, yeah. So I've got one order on at the moment. Actually, a sell limit on pound JPY. Just mark that. But yeah, I'll break that down and get to it. But that's a short. But yeah, maybe you're starting on dollar index. And I think this is, I'm not surprised, at least by the momentum in the market this week, just because of how last week played out. Typically, when we have weeks like this that are where we get a lot of volume that come into the market and it's an impulsive week, yeah, straight after that, it's price actions normally quite flat. So I'm not very surprised, but I think just looking at the dollar continuing to climb, still bullish on this.
Yeah.
I think trading between two daily points of interest that I see price gravitating towards, either these highs here to the left, as well as then this breakout point that I see structure potentially correcting to and then continuing higher. If we get there, look, we don't have to get all the way there. We could just correct sideways before we continue to the upside, but essentially seeing price trade towards one of those 2 points, but bullish overall. Just looking at the 4 hour, we've actually had price now come into this POI, which, yeah, we were kind of just, which I was waiting for the whole week. And I think this is the point, at least, at which I'll get confirmation on, are we coming lower for the week or are we trading higher? I think just looking at what EU may be doing, I think the odds are lower or a bit higher. So yeah, we'll see whether price holds from this level and we get push up in continuation, or whether we break lower, which I then think will trigger price coming, yeah, just a bit lower in that corrective move before we continue higher. So I'll be monitoring the daily close today, and I guess the next 2 4-hour closes, just to see how price reacts in this zone. So at the moment, fairly neutral on US dollar. Long term, definitely bullish. I think just short term, at least for the rest of the week, just waiting to see how price reacts here before confirming the price. Yeah. And yeah, this is kind of just what I was saying on just in terms of EU, and that it had that level and it looked like it was wanting to break that, you know, just from earlier on this evening. And look, if we get the close above here, then I think we'll get that break on dollar index. But just looking at EU from a high time frame, we are definitely heading lower here. Again, just inverse to the dollar. And again, last week, a lot of momentum, a lot of volume, a lot of high momentum, a lot of volume. So this week, I think, again, naturally a corrective week, potentially just coming up to these areas here, as far as this area. I think in this bearish move, we'll just see where price gets to. But again, monitoring the daily close, monitoring the next close, just to see how we play at this level. But I think it's highly likely that we're going to get the break to the upside. And then if we do get that break to the upside, then I'll be looking for correction and then continuation. If it comes that low, it depends. So yeah, we get the break to the upside, then I think it's most of the opportunity we'll see this week will be counter to those longer term shorts. So yeah, a bit neutral at the moment, pending some confirmation from price. USD ZAR, one of the favorites actually this week. Bearish from a daily perspective, just following the structure you can see from points I've marked. And we've had price come up to this daily high here, and we're struggling at that point. Obviously tested it yesterday, failed to close, tested it again today, and looks like we're rejecting quite nicely. On the 4 hour, you can see as well, I think just 2 tests of the level, and we've had just a 4 hour push off from those highs. So as much as the 4 hour structure is, you know, way below here, and there's that chance of correction down to the 4-hour and continuation. I think I'm just more in favor of the lower time frame shifting, which will sort of preempt that 4-hour shift of structure. So I'm looking for this level to be broken to the downside, and then I'll be looking for continuation lower out of these highs here. Do I think we could test this area above the highs one more time? Probably, because there's probably quite a few sell orders in this region here. So perhaps one more move up into this liquidity pool here, and then for price to head lower. So let's just see how that plays out. But I'll definitely be looking for a short entry here. But first, I need the break and close below this level here. Once we have that, then structure will shift, and then I look for continuation lower. So yeah, USDs are, in my opinion, looking very clean. Just for shorts, lower. And obviously I'll set my TPs based on structure, but shorting it all the way down to these levels here. So I think a lot of potential on USDs are. Pound JPY. This is, I've got a short sell limit on here. Price from the daily perspective is trending higher. I do think, however, we're just getting a much deeper correction coming off of these highs. Not worst case, but I think at most coming down to these daily high value areas from a 4-hour perspective. Unmarked up. I'm working within this corrective sort of price action here, but this is the point at which I'm seeing price come down into, which lines up pretty nicely with that TP. So why this point here? Just looking at this mess here, there was a bit of structure that started to develop there. I think Marcia and I were eyeing over the course of last week and potentially the week before, some structure that started to take shape, started forming higher highs after we broke that low. And then obviously with the volume that came in last week, we shifted that to the downside, and we've now come up, mitigated that POI. Looking at the daily, price is struggling quite nicely at this region. We've seen, I think, multiple wicks to the upside. And I think just looking at where it came from, we came from these highs at an impulsive push lower, and then we've kind of just been sideways from that point. So I am seeing a continuation to the downside, given where price came from, and coupled with this daily price action here, as well as then the 4-hour shift of structure, we didn't take that lower. So I had the 4-hour POI marked out. 4-hour POI marked out. Price came into the 4-hour POI. If I identify the POI in the 4-hour, I'll drop down to the minute 15 time frame to look for an entry. And we got that entry confirmation, run of liquidity, high momentum break of structure. And this is, while I do like high momentum breaks of structure, sometimes when price just breaks a bit too hard and goes quite far from my ideal entry point, more often than not, it doesn't come all the way back up to trigger me in before going lower. So would have preferred something that broke perhaps to this level, and then we got the pullback from here, because I'm running on the clock here. I'll probably take this order off at 9:30 because that's just my daily cutoff time. Just because I don't hold trades during swap hours or overnight, and will then probably look to re-enter tomorrow. I think what's nice about this region though is that it is also a just a lower time frame POI. So if we haven't mitigated this area tomorrow, then I can still look at this region for a double confirmation. If we come up into this area, I'll just look for the same entry confirmation on a lower time frame, using either the 30-minute, 20-minute probably the 1 hour will also show a clear POI just as my entry POI. But yeah, looking for shorts out of this region. Highly unlikely that it will probably trigger me in before 9:30. If it does, that momentum would probably scare me a bit. But yeah, let's just see. I'll keep it on just till then, and then probably just cancel it around that time. But if I do cancel it, then yeah, you guys know I'm looking to take it short tomorrow. Could we get a potential push higher, probably just above these highs before we drop off? Potentially, just for price to test these highs and then sell off. We potentially could. So yeah, I think if that lines up nicely with London session tomorrow, then yeah, I would have dodged a potential bullet on this obviously current New York short, and wait for that stop hunt early London session, and then look to take that move lower. Obviously, if the bias is correct. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on my IG if I do take that. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. US 30 still looking very clean. Patiently waiting for an entry here. Daily to the downside. 4 hour clean lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and so on. POI is marked out. It's just refined on the 2 hour. So I'm waiting for this to come higher into this POI. Entry confirmation, receive for conservative, sort of refined, or just off projection candlesticks and some other confluences I look for on the low time frames. But yeah, essentially looking for this to just come a bit higher and then settle off lower. So nothing fancy on US 30. Yeah, those are the positions. Essentially, your USD long pending that break. USD ZAR short, like how it's looking from the high time frames daily right down. Pound JPY short as well. Again, like the top down analysis on that. Entries looking clean, and then US 30 short. Structurally, perfect, really. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree with
Looking for
majority to all of your things. Obviously, just my USD ZAR thing is slightly different, but it's kind of the same thing, really. It's just that I don't really fancy that pair too much, so I don't do too much analysis on it. But anyway, let's jump into DXY. So it's the exact same things that Sam is seeing, and I think it's mainly just based on the fact that we look at structure the same, and the way we the way we analyze the markets is more so based on structure. And so I feel like our directional bias is more likely than not the same. And so with that being said, with DXY, I am pretty much bullish from a higher time frame perspective. However, I think there's a big part of me that's anticipating the sell-offs, and not necessarily long-term sell-offs, but just short-term sell-offs, because as Sam mentioned with the daily, if you take a look at the daily, we are definitely bullish, and we bullish up until the fact that we break and close below 103,850 area. And if we don't close below those areas, we're still going to be bullish. Now, the reason why I mark these areas out and what Sam mentioned as the break and retest areas on the daily is that I'm anticipating a pullback into the 50% area. And that kind of aligns with these points of interest here. And the good thing that I like about these points of interest in and around these areas here is the fact that it comes along with this imbalance that was created with this clean push to the upside. So what we'd be able to see is a shift of structure on the 4H, and hopefully structure forming where price slows down to the back end of the week this week, and hopefully pulling down into these areas. Now, is there a way to trade that? Of course there is. You're obviously going to have to be on the lower time frames and start to, I'd say, target these areas, because I think that if we do break and close below these areas, then there's a high chance that price action is going to come into these areas right here. However, bear in mind that from a 4H perspective, we can definitely see price action respect this. Cheapers. That thing's big, bro. We can see price action respect this higher low and still close and hold this higher low, and then start to see price action form a new higher high. However, with the look of this and with the correlation of what Sam showed you on EU and what I'm going to use as a definite correlation for this, I'm anticipating the price action could push a bearish for the back end of this week on DXY. Now, jumping into EU with that knowledge, what I'm anticipating is for this 4H candle or the next 4H candle to close bullish above these areas. And once that happens, then I am bullish on the 4H for the time being. Now, price action would have then shifted character in this, or we would have had a change of character where we had a high, and then I'd be anticipating a higher low for a higher high. Now, as I mentioned, there's a big chance that you can start to trade these pullbacks and pushes into these areas if price action does do that. However, if price action just does that, then I don't know how you're necessarily going to get in on those impulsive moves to the upside if it is an impulsive move to the upside. But as I mentioned, what I'm anticipating is a close above these areas, a low pullback over Asian session, because I don't see USD or Euro really performing too much in the Asian session naturally, because it's not that session. So I'm not expecting too much volatility on these on this space specifically, with a low pullback of a 4H candle or maybe 2 4H candles, and then in London session maybe potentially seeing that push to the upside. As I mentioned, if price action don't close above these areas here, then what you would then see is that price action could see that push to the downside. But I am favoring the way this is looking and the way the dollar is looking with these 4H candles momentum. I'm anticipating that this is going to push bullish and the dollar is going to push bearish into these higher time frame points of interest. And then from there, what we can then anticipate is, because we are in the 50% area on the daily, there is potential that price action could then next week push to the downside from those areas. Jumping into GJ, I think I just kept it on the 4H. And what you can really see is that, as Sam mentioned, we were looking for these areas to be met, I think last week or the week before on the live, and it wasn't really met. But what you can see is that price action is really trading in between these areas. And I think you mentioned, Sam, that when price action pushes up this high, that there's a high chance that after price action does this and it doesn't form either a break of structure or a higher high, the price action could then go into a range. And that's exactly what we see. We see in a clear range, and this is in a range for damn near a month. Like from the 19th, this last higher low that formed this higher high started on the 18th of March. And after we made these highs, we've just been in the range. It's been a month now. And that's generally what happens with GJ, is that we'll see big impulses and then we'll see big ranges in that impulse move. And what I'm expecting is that from these highs here, we're going to see a push to the downside, just based off from how you trade ranges. You can see here's bounce from these lows twice already. Now, right enough, we didn't really mitigate these orders, and that's why I'm anticipating that price action could potentially see a full of what Sam's anticipating. What I would have liked as a breakout trader first, though, is a break below these 4H lows, because I do know that this is a area in the market that we haven't broke below for a period of time, a long period of time, since I think Tuesday. So this is a key area in the market. What I'd like is a break below those areas, a low pullback to possibly a 50% if we don't mitigate these orders overnight, to 50%, and then see the continuation. Now, with that being said, if we do mitigate these orders overnight, and what Sam's expecting from a 15-minute perspective, because we did shift structure, as Sam mentioned, if we mitigate these orders and in Asian session we see a push to the downside, I'd like these lows to be broken before I start trading again. Now, I don't trade on a Thursday, just because my plan and my results on a Thursday is complete ass. So with GJ specifically, I won't be trading tomorrow. But what I will be anticipating is that if we do get these pullbacks and the break of these things, these lows here, then I can start anticipating Friday to be quite bearish and start seeing a potential push to the downside. And I know Fridays is really good for me. So from my perspective, with these bounces or from these areas, yeah, I think there's a high chance that if we break below the 191,500 area, 191,650 area, there's a high chance that we're going to see these lows at 190, in my opinion. So that's simply what I'm seeing. With US30 quite clean, as Sam mentioned, 4H is bearish, clean structure to the downside. And if you've been trading US30 over the past week or two, I feel like you've been making money just on sells. Like, just sell this bitch, bro. Sell it and you'll be fine. Like, that's all I'm let until we start breaking structures on the 4H time frame, which should be your stop losses really. You should be fine in theory. Now, what you can see is that I marked the 4H point of interest, and that's just for clarity. But if you jump down to the 1H time frame, what you can see, it looks a bit even clearer. If I just zoom in a bit, you can see that we have this clean impulse creating imbalance, and I feel like price could be drawn to that area where we could see a pullback, possibly drawn to this area, and then from there see the 15 minutes start shifting structure, and then you can start anticipating that price is gonna sweep these equal lows and potentially fill this what I've marked on the daily time frame as my point of interest. So with this point of interest, you can see that when I mark a point of interest, I like it to be clear imbalance to the upside, and you can see that we clearly met that criteria of clear imbalance to the upside. So I am anticipating that once we get these pullbacks, for price action to push to the downside and at least create a lower low. So yeah, that's it from my perspective with this. If price action does just form a lower low from here, then I just start to move my point of interest down to these lower highs and start anticipating sells out of that area. Yeah, Sam, that's about it. So ultimately, if I just break it down, I am higher time frame bullish on DXY, but I'm anticipating a bearish push to the downside. And then similarly, the inverse of that for Euro USD, I'm anticipating a intraday push to the upside on Euro USD, pound, JPY. If we break below these areas, I think there's clear sells to the downside. US30 bearish, no question. USD ZAR, that's Sam's pay. I'm gonna leave this to Sam, and he already did his analysis. For me personally, we bullish. I just don't know where to enter. I can give you. I'm bullish. I don't know where to enter. That's all I can say. Can we pull all the way down to? Yeah, I highly doubt it. Yeah, I think with everything that's going on in South Africa, there's a high chance that price action could potentially continue pushing to the upside, and yeah, yeah. I see we
No,
have.
agreed. I think especially on,
Pardon?
yeah, I was saying especially on USDZR, it's on the low time frames. It's definitely just bullish. I think it's just that daily time frame that is bearish, and that's why I'm waiting for that confirmation to shift out of 2 hour, because even if I'm looking at just the 4 hour now, it's just making high highs, high lows. So
Yeah.
we found that resistance up at the top there, and it's really, it could go either way. But just looking at how the daily is forming, looking to take that low. And then on GJ as well, it really is range bound. We're playing within the range, so
Yeah,
don't jump
exactly.
into any of those. I'm also gonna actually just approach it with a bit more caution. Definitely won't enter now, just because I'm just looking at the time. So I'll probably take that order off. Something like once.
Yeah, I think there's better pays to trade. I think US30, as NK mentioned, hey bro, that's a wave that you can just jump on and ride it to the downside, bro. Like, there's Euro USD that you can anticipate clean movements tomorrow if we do get that break to the upside. But to me, like, the favorite on this list is US30 right now, just because of how clean structure looks, and you can really anticipate like where price action could potentially push to, you know what I mean? So yeah, bro. Oh, US30 God just staying there.
I ride that wave, Brody.
Yeah, nah, ride the wave. I think if there's any other pairs that people want us to analyze, you can just go ahead. If there's any questions, I think we'll just stay on for like an extra 5 minutes. Yeah, Sam, what do you think? Like, how is
Yeah.
April been treating you so far? And then also, what do you think the rest of April has in store for us with the markets looking the way it's looking?
Yeah. April's been, I think, not the greatest in terms of results. Obviously, it's start of Q2 in a heavy, not a heavy drawdown, but obviously took those knocks last week. So not the greatest start in terms of results, but for me, it's been one of the best months just in terms of some of the insights I'm gaining from the market and some of the things we're looking at. You know, we mentioned in the weekly review, um, trying to incorporate quarterly theory into our strategies, and at the moment, kind of just observing it. And when it feels frustrating because it's so unfamiliar, and it's almost like confusing trying to now like overlay that into the strategy, and just seeing how it responds. Obviously, you expect certain things to happen at certain times, but yeah, it's just definitely feeling that I'm not like comfortable in terms of like my analysis execution, just because I'm just getting used to seeing certain things for the first time, and just really in a phase of like testing and really researching this and playing around with it very early in it as well. I think I probably only started looking at quarterly theory about 2 or 3 weeks ago. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's well, coined that by Trader Day, a guy called Trader Day on YouTube. He released like a 10-minute video explaining it, but stems from ICT concepts, really. But what it is essentially you're looking at how price behaves at certain points in time. And I think the foundation of the theory is that price action is fractal. And so you can split you can split the time intervals up into quarters over the year, with the 4 quarters over the month, 4 weeks, 4 full weeks, over the day with the 4 trading sessions, and even within each trading session into your 90-minute cycles. And to be honest, as far down as you want to go, you know, you can split up the 1 minute chart into 15-second intervals. But all that's really doing is that's just the time component of it. You still need a strategy to obviously test it against. And the phase I'm in at the moment with it is kind of just trying to figure out how the strategy responds to that, and you know what happens in certain time intervals, and almost just back testing as well as forward testing. Yeah, how to implement quarterly theory into my own personal strategy. Yeah, which has been pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I think for the rest of April, there's already small sort of tweaks that I've implemented into my revised plan, but I know the testing's kind of ongoing. I've upped my risk a bit for this next set of 20 trades. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to just being a bit more active in this next set of 20. I'll probably finish it before the quarter. And yeah, I think by then we'll have had a lot more data gathered from the back testing and forward testing that I'm kind of doing. But yeah, markets are looking good though. Obviously now got in the true yearly open, now that we've entered Q2. And so I think we're going to see a lot more impulsive moves, a lot more volume entering the market. Quarter 2 and 3 are generally my most active. So yeah, I'm optimistic, I guess, for the rest of the quarter.
Yeah.
What about
I
yourself?
think
How things
no,
looking?
definitely. I think personally that the way the markets are looking at, specifically with 3J, because I mainly trade 3J, I think it's lining up for movements like in the middle of the quarter. You know what I mean? Like We ranging now for the past two to 4 weeks because we accumulating for moves later on, so we could act in so that there can be an impulsive phase. And I think obviously just capitalizing on those impulses is going to be a big thing. And I think, as you mentioned, just like for me, it's mainly gaining the confidence, bro, and then starting to up that risk. That's it, bro. Like really just starting to put together a plan and where I can start gaining my confidence and start seeing that the results are turning to the upside and whipping that like risk, bro. Really just like saying, fuck it, mate. Like this is the plan. The plan's working. Let's up the risk to a point where like we're either going to see wins or we're going to see losses, but it's part of the game. Like I'm staying alive at the end of the day, but like I'm going to start like implementing it in a way where like I understand that I could lose a trade, but I also understand that when I stack all of my confluences together, that there's a higher chance of this thing playing out than it would lose, you know what I mean? And so like why not back yourself when you enter the trade? And so yeah, bro, that's all that like I think for this quarter that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to clean moves. As you mentioned, second quarter is, I feel like it's been one of my best performing quarters like for the past 3 years. And so I'm really looking forward to second quarter. Yeah. Oh, guys, before we go, I just wanted to mention it's your boy Sam's birthday tomorrow. So don't forget to hit him on IG with a young happy birthday. My boy's putting in the work right before his birthday. So shout out for the consistency there, bro. Shout out, bro.
Shout out. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, and on that, I actually won't be releasing a weekly review this weekend. Yeah, I'm clocking in my whole pass for the quarter, and yeah, we'll be taking some much needed downtime this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Masters will be up, and we'll keep
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
We'll keep moving.
Thank you guys for joining. Those of you that did. I think the rest of the week could potentially be promising, but don't hold your breath. It's looking to be a fairly corrective week. So even if there is some movement, it's going to be in those corrective legs of those higher time frames. So a lot choppier. So yeah, I guess trade cautiously. Last comment before we clock off. Thank you, baby girl.
Yeah. Shout out Carter.
Shout out Dando. Appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out.
So yeah, with that, guys, do not forget, consistency is the choice you make when you start doing the things you know you should be doing day in and day out. Peace.
Peace out.